Hello there and welcome from me, Rukidi Edward Kiijanangoma, to our second and final edition of UBC News Tonight this Tuesday, the 7th day of February 2023. First though, let's have a look at what's making headlines at this hour. In our top stories tonight, police rescues 59 allegedly held by the ADF. Court of Appeal starts hearing cases in which 19 women were allegedly tortured by state operatives. Uganda prepares for the Uganda-South African summit. And in sports, renowned British sports commentator Rob Walker in Uganda for an 11-day visit. Our friend of Uganda. Hello there and welcome once again. We're coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has been deeply saddened by the deaths and loss of property in Turkey and Syria following a devastating earthquake that has claimed over 4,000 lives. In a Twitter message, President Museveni wrote that Ugandans are with the families who lost their loved ones. And of course, Uganda condoles with the people of Turkey following that devastating earthquake. Now, the First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Kataha Museveni, made a visit to St. Luke Nkumba Primary School in Katabi Town Council to check on the work of facelifting and restoring the school facilities that she commissioned during the December Solidi holiday break. We have more in this report.
Painting of the administration block, staff room, classroom blocks, main hall, nursery block and kitchen, plus construction of a VIP latrine facility for the pupils and another for the staff. At the school, Mrs. Janet Museveni was taken on a tour of the renovated premises and later held a brief meeting with the representatives of the school management team, staff and local leaders of the area. The First Lady said that her visit was a follow-up on the pledge she made to facelift the facilities at St. Luke Nkumba, which she found in appalling state when she made an abrupt stopover at the school in September last year.
When I saw this school that time, I just realized it had as much needs as I've known to see in many areas in this country. But I wanted to make it a little more rehabilitated or restored so that when the children come out of the break they are in, they find a difference in the school.
She noted that so many schools in the country have not been rehabilitated over many years, and many times learners are found in classrooms that should not be called classrooms at all. She said that this is because the Ministry of Education and Sports does not have sufficient funds at hand to rehabilitate all the schools at a go.
There are many schools that have so much need, but my hands are tied, and it is so painful to see things that require work to be done or restoration to be provided, and you find you can't do anything about it. I believe in a living God. I think He is taking us on a journey as a country. He's walking with us, and I believe that He'll get us to where we must be as a country, where we can all feel proud to be Ugandans.
St. Luke began as a Church of Uganda project in 1963 and was taken over by government in 2000. The school, which is located on the way to Kasenyi landing site, has a total enrollment of 496 learners, comprising of 242 boys and 254 girls, with only 7 teachers, the head teacher inclusive. The headmistress highlighted challenges facing the school, including shortage of furniture for both the learners and staff, understaffing, lack of staff quarters, and an incomplete school fence, among others. On his part, the Mayor Katabi Town Council Ronald Kalema thanked government for its effort to make all Ugandans' children access education. He reported that Katabi, which comprises of 5 parishes, has 14 government-aided primary schools and 1 secondary school. He also held the new curriculum, which enables learners to learn progressively. Reporting for UBC, Baguma William.
Now, police have rescued 59 victims from the Allied Democratic Forces cell in Butaleja district. The police spokesperson Fred Enanga has confirmed the arrest of 9 ADF suspects during this intelligence-led operation, where several guns were also recovered.
Rescued victims, including juveniles, were recruited into terrorism activities from different regions of the country, promising them scholarships and jobs abroad.
So we managed to raid this space, which was acting as a domain for recruitment. It was also a collection center for children who are introduced to ideological messages and beliefs.
Police have embarked on the process of reuniting victims to their families with the intent of investigating families' connection to ADF.
Because we believe some of them could be recruiting agents as well. And like for instance, there was a 15-year-old victim. Her parents didn't tell her where they were taking her. And they drove her all the way from, they transported her all the way from Barara up to that place in Butaleja, and they dumped her there.
In this intelligence-led operation, 2 female suspects were arrested and are connected to the recent attack on the Busika police post.
The 2 females are wives to the 4 suspects whom we charged to court, Katende and his group, who attacked Busika and killed 2 police officers, robbed 2 guns. So these are the wives. They had now joined that ADF cell in Butaleja.
In other operations, police recovered 10 guns out of the 12 guns that were stolen during the recent wave of police post attacks. These have been recovered mainly from the ADF suspects and from the suspected rebels of the Uganda Coalition Forces of Change.
Out of the 12 guns, we've so far recovered 10 guns. We recovered 1 gun in Wakiso. We recovered the 2 guns which were robbed after 2 police officers were killed in Busunju. Now, most of these guns were recovered amongst the ADF suspects who were arrested.
In Arua district, police arrested Sabil Sludge, who has made it a habit to extort money from parents, especially during the period of opening the education period, promising them scholarships. During the operation, 22 pupils were rescued.
Has been a habitual child trafficker and fraudster, and this has been the 3rd occasion that he has been defrauding very innocent parents and victimizing pupils and students in the West Nile districts of Arua, Maracha, and Nebi, who has been actively involved in fleecing parents of their hard-earned incomes under the guise of securing scholarships and sponsorships for them in some of the schools within Kampala and Wakiso.
The same man was arrested in the previous 2 years over the same charges, while in Maracha district, though was granted a court bail. Parents are advised to be vigilant during this hard economic situation over empty promises. Abdul Nasir Lubama and Mario Nyawori for UBC.
Government, through President Yoweri Museveni, is committing more deliberate support to Uganda's private sector in a bid to spur industrial and export growth in the coming years. This was highlighted at the launch of the forthcoming 3-day Uganda-South Africa Trade, Tourism and Investment Summit, which will commence on the 27th of February 2023 in Pretoria, South Africa. Mark Wadulo Arnold gives us more.
As Uganda strives to build a self-sustaining and integrated economy, South Africa continues to show trade potential through increased foreign direct investment and exponential growth in trade volumes.
We are going to make sure that we put these products in the right way and meet the demand that you've created that side. We are happy to hear the demand. Even before we arrive in South Africa, you're doing an excellent job for your country and for your government, and for us as government and our private sector will take advantage of it and make sure that we export in that market.
Despite having a long-standing and favorable balance of trade, the value of Ugandan exports to South Africa in financial year 2017-18 stood at $8.9 million US, in financial year 2018-2019 at $9.9 million US. It reduced to $6.67 million US in financial year 2019-2020 due to the pandemic, only to pick up to $16.53 million US in financial year 2020-21 and $27.34 million US in financial year 2021-22.
There will be opportunity for Uganda to make a case to present the bankable projects and the opportunities that we have to the government of South Africa and to the private sector, but there will also be opportunity for business-to-business engagements.
You have the River Nile, you have the Machon Falls, you have the Gorillas, you have the Rwenzori. This is for our flight compared to somebody going to Europe and America. Why don't we tap into this?
Already, 160 Ugandan private businesses have confirmed their participation. However, government is optimistic in setting up a new leveled ground for Uganda to achieve favorable trade balances with South Africa.
I've just come from a meeting with the sugar people. If we don't organize our sugar industry, we cannot get the $200 million we require because the sugar sector is disorganized. New licensees come in without dealing with the old ones. We cannibalize what is there. So these discussions have to be granular and have to be brutal. We can't waste any more time.
So the Europeans are trading mostly with each other. Intra-Asia trade is at 60% or so, but intra-Africa trade is less than 15%, which means all our trade, most of our countries, we trade with Europe, we trade with America, we trade with China. We don't trade so much amongst ourselves. So this agreement is meant to encourage African countries to trade with one another.
The main exports of Uganda to South Africa are unprocessed tobacco, coffee and packed medicaments, while gold, delivery trucks and hot-rolled iron are the major imports. Wadulo Mark Arnold, UBC News in Kampala.
to the courts of law now, where the Court of Appeal has commenced a hearing process of the matter where 19 women under their umbrella body, Women for Peace, are seeking compensation after claiming to have been beaten by state operatives. Now, this follows dismissal of the civil suit against the state and state operatives, where they cited torture and brutality inflicted on them during a demonstration march to the Electoral Commission headquarters here in Kampala.
We are the Ugandans. We are never
19 appellants under their umbrella body Women for Peace, among others Ingrid Tuinawe, Marcia Liz Lillian, Karuru Lecho, Aida Namukwaya, have appeared at the Court of Appeal before Chief Regis Orian Buchana for the hearing of the case against the state and state operatives.
So we took them to court, and those were Grace Tuyagmanawe, Moses Kafero, Grace Akuro, Judith Nabakoba, Muya Immaculate, Akero Jennifer, Adero Sarah, Soita Peter, Achen Gladys.
In this civil appeal, the appellants allege that they were violently and brutally tortured by the government and police operatives as they were peacefully marching to the Electoral Commission in Kampala to deliver a document.
We peacefully marched to the Electoral Commission with our petition. We did not expect what happened to us. We reached the gate. They refused us to enter. We requested the Askaris to help us and deliver our document to the chairman. So as we were waiting for the feedback, we were attacked. We were beaten. Dogs were set onto us. They started chasing us and biting us. We were thrown on the road, the busy Ginger Road. Some of us were knocked by the speeding cars, which we couldn't trace up to now. Then we were tear gassed, pepper sprayed. That is the first time Uganda saw the colored tear gas.
In court, their lawyer John Bosco Chitenda, the appellants prayed to court for an adjournment, contending that the respondents were absent in court. Court of Appeal Regis Orian Buchana said 13th of April 2023, formation of the case.
On 13th April at midday.
The appellants say they seek justice and compensation from this court for the damages caused by the state operatives since some of their colleagues lost lives.
We are not happy. We are now grandmothers, but we shall never give up. We need justice. And as I'm talking now, my court also of civil suit is this week. I've also sued the government on the same thing. What the government wants is not to see us live.
We are here after so many years. They have called us back to come and secure that justice. And it's our prayer that we will definitely get the justice, because that's what we want.
In another development, the International Crimes Division Court in Kololo has said that on 8th of February 2023 to proceed with the pre-trial hearing of the case, where 8 people are accused for the attempted murder of John Katumba Wamala, murder of his daughter Brenda Nantongo, and driver Haruna Kayondo. This followed the absence of the accused persons in court, which forced the accused Islia Geoffrey Triamusima to pray for an adjournment. The 8 accused persons in the attempted murder of John Katumba Wamala, murder of his daughter and driver, include Selubula Hussein, Yusuf Nyanzi, Kagugube Muhammad, Wahab Kamada, Ayub Sambira, Abdulaziz Ramadan, Akim Ramadan, and Wampa Kuzaifa, Rebecca Nantongo, Susan Nabugude, UBC News.
National Unity Platform opposition political party is supporting Alliance for National Transformation candidate Alice Alaso in the Serere Member of Parliament by-election. NOP spokesperson Joel Senyonyi says his party had 2 candidates who expressed interest in the election but are promoting the strategy of united forces of change to come together as the opposition. Take a watch.
2 candidates who had expressed interest to contest for the position of Member of Parliament in Serere by-election under National Unity Platform Party have stepped down for the candidate of Alliance for National Transformation Party, Alice Alaso. Joel Obore says as the opposition, they are fighting for a common cause, which is change. While Jerry Okello says Alaso is one of the senior politicians he believes will do better.
The efforts the party has done, because we are all fighting for one goal, sure that we build a better and a new Uganda. To my supporters in Serere, we've decided that we are all going to rally behind Alaso to
give support to any other person rather than Alice Alaso, because Honorable Alice Alaso of ANT is one of those candidates, is one of those senior politicians that we believe that even if I was given the position, still she can do it better than us. So we believe by supporting her, we are creating unity.
NOPE backs Alice Alaso to promote opposition strategy of united forces for change and also fight for electoral justice.
We keep making every effort to come together. And so we are going to Serere as the national unity platform to support the Honorable Alice Alaso, who is the flag bearer of Alliance for National Transformation, ANT. It is what leadership calls for, that sometimes you lie a little for the bigger good, for the bigger cause.
We are doing this to show maturity in leadership, to show that we believe in the unity of the people of Uganda, to show that we don't just want to participate in this election just for the sake of it. We want to have results from this election.
Meanwhile, National Unity Platform has asked government to ensure that people abducted are produced to court within 48 hours. I'm Nafka Farida and Stephen Kalisia at Kamocha.
Sent to transport to the wrong person. Here's how to reverse it with MTN Mobile Money. Dial *165#. Select My Account. Select Initiate Reversal. You will see your last 3 transactions. Select the transaction you want to reverse. Enter your mobile money PIN and you'll get an SMS confirmation that the transaction has been blocked from being withdrawn. And that's it. Please note, only transactions that haven't been withdrawn can be reversed.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
The festive season is here and it's Christmas in 4G from Airtel. Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda, now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes! 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones this holiday season.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. Happy holidays this festive season with Airtel, the smartphone network.
Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development in partnership with UNDP will host the launch of the 2021 Poverty Status Report under the theme Jobs, Informality and Poverty in Uganda, Insights on Performance Before and During COVID-19 on Thursday 9th February 2023 at Imperial Real Hotel, Kampala, starting at 8 a.m. The guest of honor will be Honorable Matia Kasaija, Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. This report explores Uganda's structural transformation agenda, which is hinged on transforming the livelihoods of households from low to high productivity activities and sectors, while minimizing vulnerabilities to poverty. The event will be hybrid with in-person attendance by invitation and strictly following COVID-19 SOPs. All other participants are invited to join via Zoom, YouTube, and live broadcast.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back from that break, and this is our second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV. Uganda People's Defence Forces continue to be lauded as a Pan-African force that has exported peace to some troubled nations. Former Prime Minister Right Honourable Amama Mbabazi says one of the pillars of the struggle for Uganda's liberation was Pan-Africanism, which Uganda continues to exhibit. Now, the presence of Uganda's troops in Somalia has seen positive results, which historical and other leaders say ought to be appreciated. Henry Okorot reports.
When we visited Somalia sometime in September 2019, this is part of what we found. Capacity building was ongoing to enable the people of Somalia take over their own security. This was happening at a time the African Union mission to Somalia was nearing its end.
So ours is to speak and say, let's create the necessary conditions, okay, for AMISOM exit. AMISOM is not intending to leave. AMISOM is compelled to leave.
The transition has since taken place, with African Transition Mission in Somalia taking over from AMISOM. Uganda People's Defence Forces continues to be part of ATMIS, a mission to pacify Somalia.
I think for us, UPDF has done a great job, and that's why the people of Somalia are enjoying the peace that they have. Without UPDF, by the way, I don't think that Somalia can have a government. For me, we need only to support them, to give them the requirement, the budget that they have, because when Somalia is suffering, Uganda is equally suffering.
This is done in the Pan-African spirit, which was part of the pillars of Uganda's liberation struggle in the 1980s. Former Prime Minister Amama Mbabazi was part of the struggle.
We, as revolutionaries, have a duty to support revolutions in Africa for change. Because we all know that in Africa, the conditions are not very different from what Uganda was before.
It is this same Pan-African spirit that saw the sailing through Parliament the idea of the Ugandan army going to Somalia. Edward Kiwanuka Sekandi was the speaker, while Dr. Chris Baryomunsi was one of the members of Parliament when the motion was passed.
Therefore, you can say it has been resisted. It has faced many challenges, but those challenges have not been able to break it.
We believe that Uganda should not be an island and live on its own. We recognize that other black Africans are our sisters and brothers. That is why when there is trouble in Somalia, when there is trouble in Congo, when there is trouble in South Sudan, we send our troops because we have a cardinal responsibility to be our brothers' keepers, because we believe in Pan-Africanism.
The move was not only meant to promote peace outside Uganda, but also prevent unrest from coming into the country.
one of our international policies is to maintain regional peace. UPDF has been seen everywhere, and now they are even in Congo, where yesterday, the other day, people of Congo, the Congolese government actually, they recognized the efforts of UPDF as in creating and bringing back the peace in that country before the Pope, before the Holy Father Pope. So that one made me feel great as a citizen of Uganda.
I think it is a matter of working with different governments to ensure that they protect and provide peace and security within the region. Once DRC is not settled, Uganda will not settle. When you are in Somalia, don't think that when Somalia sneezes, Uganda will remain peaceful.
These are some of the reasons why Ugandans need to appreciate the role of the Uganda People's Defense Forces in promoting peace beyond Uganda.
So whereas we don't want to interfere in other people's affairs, where we are called upon as a country, because we now have the capacity to help, it is right and fair that we do so.
Uganda was a failed state. UPDF, NRA, UPDF liberated it. Now we are a strong, united country. We need the other African countries also to be free. So the performance, the participation of Africa, of UPDF in African liberation or stability is very strategic.
UPDF is a product of the National Resistance Army. It is a formation that oversaw an expanded struggle to usher in a new defense arrangement for Uganda. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The UPDF hoisting Uganda's flag high on the African continent. Thanks so much, Henry, for that story there. A State House Comptroller, Jane Barichi, has tasked NRM party coordinators across the country to sensitize people at the grassroots to embrace government programs that are intended to fight poverty. She was meeting NRM party coordinators here in Kampala.
Over 100 NRM party coordinators across the country gathered in Kampala for the third-day sensitization meeting, which focused on improving their performance at the village level. State House Comptroller Jane Barichi says leaders at the grassroots need to appreciate government's policy of alleviating household poverty.
To pass on a message to all Ugandans, a message from the head of state, a message from the chairman, a message that he has always passed to Ugandans. Maybe you didn't capture it, maybe you captured it, of transforming the economy.
Barichi advised them to concentrate on identifying people's needs and finding solution.
Go and mediate between them very well. Where you find the conflict, and it doesn't necessarily need you to bring it to high authorities, sit into them, talk to them, unite them. Create peace in two communities.
The senior presidential advisor on political matters, Hajati Hadija Namialo, said that they must achieve what President Museveni promised people during the election.
Guidelines that the national chairman wants us to follow. We don't want to do things our own way. We have guidelines from our national chairman and the core principles that he's following, and he wants us to execute on the ground.
She warned them against corruption as they execute their mandates. Nafka Farida and Joseph Muyingo.
We'll take yet another short break and return with business news. Stay with us.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
This is our family's pride.
This is my friend.
This is the future of our nation.
She is the future of Uganda, and the policies I enact today will protect her from teenage pregnancy.
She is the hope of our community, and I will talk to others about how we must protect her.
She is our family's pride, and I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Their support meant so much to me. I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
Okay, so this receipt, okay, plus this one equals,
Keeping up with your transaction history the old way.
1,000. Okay, I got this. I don't. Okay, maybe if I can just...
Keeping up with your transaction history with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to keep an eye on your transaction history. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
It's easy.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mold Technologies, your professional research firm.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Regulated by UCC.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Time now for us to have a look at what's happening in the world of business. Junior Achievement Uganda, in partnership with the Zurich Foundation and the Ministry of Education and Sports, have launched a social equity project. The initiative aims at mentoring and empowering youth with skills to enter the workforce. Take a watch.
The 3-day Entrepreneurship and Leadership Junior Achievers Bootcamp, culminating into a 3-month mentorship and coaching session, is aimed at creating a positive change in the lives of over 10,000 youth across the country through entrepreneurship.
We're looking at youth that were probably affected by the pandemic, out of school for reasons here and there, weren't able to go back. Those that are in vocational institutions may be trying to learn a skill here and there.
Entrepreneurship has long been a conduit for change in the social and economic well-being of communities in Uganda. The adoption of soft skills is essential in helping youth become innovative job creators and well-qualified job seekers.
Gone are the days that we used to study for purpose of passing. But the question is, what is the child able to do? what is that you are able to do with your own hands. And now we are talking of unemployment. To us, that is the very biggest concern now. Now, if we say we are unemployed, what is it that we are going to do to ensure that we fight the unemployment?
Value addition and mindset change are emphasized for the development of financial independence and literacy.
Financial literacy has been our biggest concern. People go to school, they don't know that you have to look for a job to earn a living. But somebody is not trained on how to begin earning. How do you earn? How do you spend? How do you save? And how do you donate? We have very many people who are in dire need. But the moment we help each other, then we shall develop together.
The Social Equity Project will be implemented in the districts of Kampala, Mbale, Jinja, and Gulu. Charlotte Amuge and Dan Lugemwa for UBC News.
Now, one way government can empower youth is having a policy that gives skills to help youth solve issues affecting them. At least over 80,000 youth graduate from institutions of higher learning to enter the job market with only 40,000 slots. Now, the private sector offers over 3 million jobs, but the youth lack the skills to take them up. But renowned businessman Razar Ali told UBC that ICTs can offer employment opportunities to youth with minimum skills.
This GSM 5G resource trains youth in ICTs, software engineering and home industry manufacturing. The proprietors of GSM 5G have opportunities for youth out of school to start home industry manufacturing, produce software and cell phone parts like screen guards, smart cables, software engineering. These skills help youth earn money without staying long on job search after school.
Over 500,000 children are getting high graduation in this country, and only 70 to 80,000 they are having the part of the job. It's a big worry. So the world has gone to the online system, world has moved to the home industry. If we focus on manufacturing, we shall go on skill.
At least 75% of Uganda's population are under 35 years. Uganda's higher institutions release at least 80,000 graduates onto the job market. Others have sought external labor in the Arab countries.
Communicate with us. We're not charging you money. We have all the gadgets to teach you. We shall see how, on which department you're getting focus. So we shall base on you on that. Within 3 months, you will control the area where you belong, and you will start earning the money. If you need any support for the gadgets to base on, we shall make a team, we shall make our own banking system. Youth is the biggest power of this nation. We must protect our girls. They are the big number which are leaving this country. We must focus to bring home industry. For example, data cable of the mobile, it is 1 meter. Everybody needs it. We have 45 million approximately population. It's better to make it home industry, where the cost will reduce.
Proprietors of GSM 5G project in Uganda are seeking government policy to work with the ICT ministry to provide employment to youth.
GSM 5G came in for one subject, to giving skill to the youth through home industry, protect the girls to go to abroad. I myself no longer believe 150,000 shilling salary, because it will never create the future. Government must come in with their policy into us.
Foreign business investors are skilling Uganda's youth in ICTs. The GSM 5G project on YouTube is also online to ease access for every Ugandan. Abiona Francisco, UBC News.
Sports news now, and Rob Walker, a renowned British sports commentator and a friend of Uganda, is in the country for an 11-day visit. The veteran sports journalist has been invited as a guest of Uganda by the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities. Dennis Sigwa reports.
It is the third time that Rob Walker is in the country, having first visited the Pearl of Africa in 2005. Unlike the previous visits, which were work-related, this time round he is a visitor of the state.
Rob has been an ambassador to Uganda before anyone told him to be so. That's the truth. So we are just encouraging him to continue doing it for us. We didn't pay him before. We don't pay him for this visit, and we don't intend to. He has done this out of passion. And I think from what he said, if you heard well, and I want to thank you for being one of the champions to do with this, trying to change the global perspective about Africa and Uganda as a whole.
As a country, we would like to thank you so much for what you did to us during the Olympics in Japan. We will remain indebted to you as a sports subsector.
Walker's itinerary will include public speeches, TV interviews, tourism, education and athletics discussions.
As we have Rob, we love you very much. Thank you very much. Ugandans are so much in love with you as much as you are in love with Uganda. So once again, on behalf of Uganda Tourism Boards, we welcome you.
If someone had said to me when I first discovered Uganda back in 2005, as all Mzungu do, going overland, touring around, that I would one day be invited back as a guest of the government, I wouldn't have believed you. I never say things I don't mean in commentary. I think commentary should come from the heart, and it should just be instinctive passion. And so when I said all those things about Uganda, I meant it.
The veteran British sports journalist who has covered sports such as boxing, football, tennis and athletics is famous in Uganda for using the global athletics arena to market Destination Uganda, a country he is not shy to praise for its beauty and hospitality.
World Championships, every Olympic Games, those iconic vests and that name of Uganda is being shown literally all around the world. And it's adding a twist of intrigue to the great rivalry that's been established on either side of the Rift Valley between the Kenyans and the Ethiopians. Now the Ugandans are in that conversation for dominance and for brilliance. So you should really savour this time, because athletes like Joshua Cheptegei and Jacob Kiplimo come around once in a generation.
During a 20-year TV career, which includes 7 Summer and Winter Olympic Games and 5 Summer and Paralympic Games, Rob Walker has contributed to and has been part of some of the world sport's most memorable moments. Dennis Sigwa for UBC News.
Uganda honoured to have a friend like a Rob Walker. Ugandans now know the 48 real stars from for the month of January. Now this after the award ceremony hosted at Route 256 in Lugogo. John Barnes Sentamo gives us more.
5 athletes from cricket, boxing, pool, motocross and rugby have received reward from 48 real stars for their displays from the last month. Cricket player Ronald Lutaya, pool icon Rashida Mutesi, motocross ace Walid Omar, boxer Shadil Musawoji and Impis rugby club player Henry Sekuye were those on the podium.
I'm happy actually that the month has started well for me and my side as well, my career in this rugby club. So I'm pretty excited about it.
The awards Chief Executive Officer Isaac Mukasa is optimistic 2023 will see the awards grow to a larger scale.
2023 we want to see we are giving over 10 disciplines. Unfortunately, we've not yet reached there. I don't know why some disciplines are still lazy, they're not doing well, but at least we wanted to see by the end of this year we have more than 10 disciplines coming on board. Then maybe as you approach 2024, we want to see them regional now, crossing borders from Uganda to East Africa. 2025, you never know, you might go continental.
These awards have been a mainstay for a while and have in partnership with others like Jude Color Solutions been a catalyst for better performances. John Barnes Sentamo, UBC News.
It's coming to 12 minutes to the hour of 11 here in the studios of UBC TV. We finally come to the end of the second and final edition of News Tonight. But before we leave you, let's have a quick reminder of our top stories. In our top stories tonight, police rescues 59 allegedly held by the ADF. Court of Appeal starts hearing case in which 19 women were allegedly tortured by state operatives. Uganda prepares for the Uganda-South African Business Summit. And renowned British sports commentator Rob Walker in Uganda for an 11-day visit, friend of Uganda. That's all we had time for. Thanks for having kept us company. My name is Rukidi Edward Kiijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night and God bless you.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development in partnership with UNDP will host the launch of the 2021 Poverty Status Report under the theme Jobs, Informality and Poverty in Uganda, Insights on Performance Before and During COVID-19 on Thursday 9th February 2023 at Imperial Real Hotel, Kampala, starting at 8 a.m. The guest of honor will be Honorable Matia Kasaija, Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. This report explores Uganda's